Better? Yes. Okay. Tried standing up now. Greetings, creatures of Earth, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Alex, for those of you that do not know, and this is the Hippie Venture. Today we're going to talk about something that I've tried to research on the internet because the internet knows all, and I just can't find a lot of information on. I live in a pretty conservative area politically, so not a lot of people are open to and embracing of my sustainable lifestyle. No matter how many times I try to convince people that global warming's a thing and that it's something we should probably start worrying about, they always have some kind of excuse, like, oh no, the future generation will take care of it, you know, technology will develop enough that we find solutions that way, or people are just completely in denial about it. Like, that's not a thing, we're never gonna run out of oil, we're never gonna run out of coal, you know. It's all just a government conspiracy, essentially. It's created by China or the EPA or whoever, and we don't have to believe in that here. So I've looked to the internet to see if I can find an answer for this kind of struggle. Is there anyone else out there like me that wants to live sustainable but doesn't quite have the support of the people around them? Is it just me? I don't think it is, because I've actually talked to a couple of my friends that have had the exact same struggle, and I think it's a lot more common than people think. You know, one person in a house wants to change the world, wants to be sustainable, wants to be eco-friendly, but they can't quite get over the hump that is their family standing in the way. And it's not just their family, it could also be your friends, your roommates, whoever. It's just a difficult challenge to face alone. And I know it seems really daunting, but it is possible. So I've started thinking about it, and I've come up with 7 tips to help you be sustainable without the support of your family. Tip number 1 is check yourself before you wreck yourself. Okay, this one kind of goes without saying, but I feel like I should put it in anyway. Basically, what I mean is, do you practice what you preach? Are you being sustainable in every way that you can already without relying on your family or friends around you? How long are your showers? Do you recycle? Do you compost? How much do you waste every month? The first step to convincing other people that a sustainable life is not only possible, but healthier for you in the long run, and it doesn't have to cost you $1 million, is to set a good example. Use very simple tactics. Bring a reusable cup to Starbucks when your family or friends go. Bring an empty container when you go out to eat so that you can take your leftovers home without relying on those terrible, wasteful styrofoam boxes. Do you eat a lot of processed foods? Do you shop at the dollar store where everything is in heavy packaging? Because my family does, and the past couple months that I've been working on this project, I've noticed that I've backslid into also relying on those things for sustenance, and I've started to refuse it a lot more. And I feel so much better. Not just my conscience is clear, but my skin has cleared up a lot from not eating super processed foods. I feel more energetic. I feel like I'm a little bit healthier just because I've cut out eating fast food and processed snacks. So start with yourself, first and foremost. That's the most important thing. Genuinely ask yourself, are you setting a good example? The second tip is to be aware of the world around you. This means politics, unfortunately. Not a lot of people like to talk about politics, but it is such a huge part of our life and our society today. If you don't know anything about politics, you're lost in the world. If you can't explain to someone why you're boycotting an ecologically irresponsible company, they're not gonna care. They're not gonna believe that what you're doing is making a difference. If you can't even explain your own beliefs to someone, it's not going to change their mind. And it's important to also understand that you don't just have to understand your beliefs, but the beliefs of others as well. Not everyone's going to share your viewpoints, and not everyone is going to be convinced after you explain yourself that they should change their ways. And that's okay. You can't win them all. But there are a select few that might jump on the bandwagon with you and say, you know what, you're right, I never thought about it that way. But you have to know your facts first. Tip number 3 is to communicate. As human beings, we are blessed with the ability to talk to one another. That's something that not every creature on this earth shares. You have to communicate with your friends, your family, your roommates, whoever it might be, what you're doing. And this sounds like a lot of step number 2, but it's a little bit different. For example, you may be aware of the benefits of composting and of taking shorter showers, but does everyone around you know that? Honestly, if I walked out with a bowl of coffee grounds and a 5-gallon bucket, people would probably think I'm crazy. Like, what the heck is that girl doing with those random things? But if you explain to them that these coffee grounds are gonna go into my compost and I'm gonna use it to grow food for myself later, and this 5-gallon bucket is going into my shower so that I can conserve water while I'm taking my really long showers that are like 20 minutes long, then you don't look so crazy. Once you've explained yourself to them, encourage them to participate too. Don't force them, because force is never the answer and it's not going to get you a lot of places. But if you slowly encourage people to add their coffee grounds to your compost, or start using your bucket in the shower to catch the water that they're not using so you can water plants later, then slowly but surely you might find that people are coming around. But people can't read your mind, so you have to communicate. Number 4 is to be patient and respectful. And trust me, this is a lot easier said than done. Think about it. If someone came up to you on the street and started yelling belligerently at you to sign their petition right now, would you do it? Probably not. You would think they were a psycho and you'd walk away. It's similar with something like this. Convincing people to be sustainable is not an easy feat, and you're not going to convince everyone. In fact, you're probably only going to convince a very, very small percentage of whoever you talk to change their life. And even if people are super receptive while you're talking to them, they're probably going to go home and eat their microwavable dinners and use their disposable cups and their plastic silverware, and it will all be for naught. But don't be discouraged. Keep trying. Constant vigilance. Tip number 5 is to recruit the family and friends that you think will be on your side already. Target your siblings, your grandparents, that wacky aunt that only visits on holidays. Bring them to your side. Make them help you convince the rest of your family. Trust me, it's a lot less daunting if you have some help, and once you've convinced one person, it becomes easier to start convincing others. Tip number 6 is take initiative. I cannot stress this enough. This is probably the most important tip that I've come across, and honestly, it's where this whole video idea stemmed from. Think about it. If you decide to take out the trash and make sure that the recycling gets put in the correct bin that it's supposed to, and if you start a compost pile for your family and put out a bowl on your counter saying, hey, put all of your food waste in here, and if you clean the house with a sustainable product, then not only will you be living a healthier lifestyle, but you're secretly forcing it on your family without being forceful. And how much are your parents and roommates going to love you for cleaning the house and taking out the trash? You can even do the dishes by hand before they start to pile up to avoid your family using the dishwasher. This is a win-win situation because you get to be sustainable while also making your family happy. Last but not least, number 7 is don't make excuses for yourself.
Just do it!
This is another thing that I've been extremely guilty about the past couple years because I've been stuck in, again, a very conservative area and people don't share my beliefs. I get that. Just because that's the case doesn't mean that you have to do everything that they're doing. Think about the old adage, if all of your friends were jumping off a bridge, would you go jump off a bridge too? Just because it was the coolest thing to do? Just because everyone else was? No, that's stupid, right? Similarly, don't give in to the temptation of the wasteful world. It might be a lot easier to make a microwavable meal for dinner, but think about your waste. It might take a lot less time and effort to go through a drive-thru and get fast food instead, but you're not doing your body a favor and you're not doing the environment a favor either. Don't settle what everyone else is doing just because it's easier. And trust me, it will be easier. And it will be tempting. Ask yourself, am I doing the best I can? And if you can give an honest yes, then you're doing just fine. Most importantly, don't be discouraged. Keep trying, because eventually you will get somewhere. I'm gonna leave you with one of my favorite quotes, and I'm sure a lot of you know it. It's from Alice in Wonderland. My dear, we must run as fast as we can, just to stay in place. And if you wish to go anywhere, you must run twice as fast as that. Well everyone, that is it for this video, even though it took me way too long to film it, but at least I did it. Let me know what you thought about it. Please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, tell me how you liked it. Subscribe to this channel, become a hippie yourself, and please share it with your family, friends, peers, whoever, and remember, nothing ventured, nothing gained.